I've been thinking a lot. And after last episode, I've been able to come up with more or just think about things, especially from the first episode. This girl, this girl right here. I know maybe my paranoia or maybe my mistrust of Mayushi is unwarranted, but I think, or I just feel like there's things that she's doing that just something ain't adding up. Something ain't adding up. And I may contradict myself as I begin to ramble my thoughts to you guys, but I kind of took some notes a little bit just so I can like keep on track and so this doesn't take so long. But so basically, we found out for a fact that, well, John Titor even told us, but basically when Okurin sent the text messages about the lottery to the past, or got Moeka to do it, he jumped world lines. He diverged into another world line. Now, if we think about the first episode, he accidentally diverged into another world line because when he was talking to Daru and he was asking him, hey, when did you hook up your cell phone to the computer, when they were like talking about stuff, I think it was the first episode, Daru was like, oh, it was around noon, and then that's when Okurin was like, oh, that was the same time I sent the text messages to you that Makise had been stabbed. So they just happened accidentally to do it. Now, if we think about that first episode, which I don't know if I'm repeating myself or not, so bear with me on that. But if we think about that first episode, whenever Okurin was, whenever Okurin was talking to Mayushi and they were in the stairwell, and this was kind of right after he got done talking to Makise, and she was like, what did you want to tell me? What was so important? And then he like ran away from her and he was like, what the hell is she talking about? He ran into Mayushi, like his cell phone like messed up, and then he ran into Mayushi, and that's when she was like, oh, I lost my metal upa. That's when they heard the scream, okay? That's when they heard a man scream, and I think that scream was Okurin, in my opinion. Get to that, why I think that later. But they heard the scream, and she acknowledged it. She was like, what was that? That's what Mayushi said. So she heard the fucking scream, okay? Now, that's when he runs. This is Okurin's original, well, actually, I'm not sure about this. I was about to say this is Okurin's original timeline, but now I'm not sure if that was even his timeline. Maybe it was, but he goes, he sees Makise's dead. Okay, when he leaves, that's when he presses the send button to text Daru like, oh shit, Makise got stabbed. And that's when Daru happened to be hooking his cell phone up to the microwave. That was the first divergence to us, to the viewer. Who knows? Because there could have been other ones. But that was the first divergence in the timeline. Because he went into that space where he couldn't see anybody. And guess who was in that space with him? It was Mayushi. He was talking to her. He was talking with her. Now, the only thing that's stopping me from thinking that Mayushi lied in the second episode. In the second episode, he asked her right before she was going to work, hey, did you hear a scream in the building? She was like, no, I didn't. I think she's a fucking liar. I think she did hear the scream, and I think she's lying. Guys, I just remember something as well. Whenever Okurin was outside the building, after he discovered Makise's dead body, what's her name? Mayushi ran up to him and was like, what's wrong? You look pale. And he was like, I just saw a dead body. And you want to know what her reaction was? She didn't even have a reaction. What kind of face? Look at her face. She's smiling. Why wouldn't she have a reaction? He just saw a dead body. You would think she would be like, who? What happened? What? You know what I'm saying? Her reaction doesn't make any type of sense. And I'm here to figure out the truth. I need to know, why was she acting so weird? He was so disturbed. He was so... And she didn't even say anything. I don't even think she said anything. I think she was just like, oh. Like, she just had this look like, huh. Like, the heck? Like, what's up with that? But the only thing that's making me doubt that is because whenever they were in that space, Okanen was like, where are all the people? Everybody disappeared. And she's like, disappeared? What are you talking about? And then we see like images of people still there. So it was kind of like he couldn't see the people, but she could. So maybe she was still in the timeline. But the thing is, they were both still conversing. Like, they were in that space. So I'm under the impression that being in that space where time seemingly stops, you're gonna keep your memories. Yeah. Because, yeah, being in that space, you're gonna keep your memories. So I'm under the assumption that because Mayushi was in there with him and she brought him the Dr. Pepper, like, she was talking to him, she jumped world lines too. She diverged with him. And therefore she has her memories of the scream in the building. Now, I will say, episode 2, because we know that Okanen's, I guess it's Okanen's, okay, I want to make sure I put a pin in this real quick, and I'm going to bring up something else because I am kind of confused about something. I remember John Titor mentioning that you can run into yourself in the timeline. I do remember him mentioning that when Okanen was talking with him on a computer, like online. John Titor said you can meet yourself. So it is possible for there to be 2 of you. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I'm pretty sure John Titor had said that. I don't remember what episode it was, but they were talking online and he said that. Now, if that's the case, why in episode 7, when Okanen diverged timelines, it's like his consciousness just went to like his body, like he stayed in the present. One of you, I think I can't remember, I'm sorry, but you told me that Okanen remains there, it's just the world around him that changes. Now if that's the case, how do you run into your second self? Because that makes me think like you can't. There's no 2 of you, there's only 1 of you. It's either your consciousness goes into your body in that timeline and you're just present, like you're staying there, and everybody else just... do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? Do you guys get what I'm trying to say? Like, John Titor said it's possible to meet your second self. So whenever in episode 2, whenever Daru and Mayushi were saying, yeah, don't you remember you didn't go? Like, they were talking to him. Like, there were 3 people who said, hey, you said this to me, and he doesn't remember it happening because that wasn't really him. It was another Okaran. So I'm just like, how are there 2 of, like, how would there's 2 Okarans going around, or I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, guys. I'm all over the place. Before I forget what I want to say. Now, if we think about the first episode, who would murder Makise? Who can gain something from murdering Makise? And the only group of people that I think could gain anything would be CERN. I think at this point, because there's different timelines, I think CERN is aware that Okanen is trying to stop them. Who is the person in the group who has been able to help them experiment? She even figured out the rules on how shit works. It's Makise. So what if CERN sent someone back in time, or whatever? What if they mastered, because remember, I think what's her face, Shining Finger, she could be one of the first successful people to get sent back in time in a black hole. So if that's the case, if CERN in whatever timeline has been able to master sending people back in time, which eventually they do, they could go back to the time and have Makise get murdered, so she never joins Okanen's group, so that in that timeline she never meets, they never get to know her, and therefore Okanen in that time will never figure out how the time machine even works. And what if the scream that they heard was Okanen Okaren's future self who's going into the timeline to try to save her, to keep her from being killed. And maybe he screamed then because he failed. He couldn't make it in time. So I think it's going to get to a point. I think Okaren Okunen and maybe CERN, but maybe more so Okunen is the god, right? Like I said before, like I really do think Okunen is the star. He's the most powerful. Like he's the one looking into the monitor and he's looking at all the different timelines and he's trying to save Makise and he's also trying to stop CERN, but he's jumping world lines. Now, I know I'd be coming for Mayushi, I know, but is she fucking lying? Because I'm thinking just because she was in that space with Okunen, she should have her memories. So before the second divergence, because they diverged Okunen, and I'm just going to include Mayushi in there, Okunen diverged on accident the first time because Daru hooked up this phone and it was at the exact same time they did it. That was the first time. But because she was in there, she had her memories. She had her memories in this second timeline. They're doing experiments and shit. And I told you guys, I feel like she's been, I don't know, low-key sabotaging. I don't know. But at the same time, I don't know, guys. I could be totally off. But I just... Then she sent Okunen to her co-worker's little thing, like wasting his time. And she probably knew that her co-worker didn't know shit about the IBM computer. I don't know. But when he asked her, did she hear the scream? Did she lie or not? Maybe she didn't. Maybe she didn't lie. Maybe everybody's memories got changed. That's why he was so confused. And remember there, he was like a week ago. Like, I'm trying to remember that conversation when they were talking about him going to the conference. And he was like, I went to the conference. They were like, no, you didn't. Because if you would have went, you would have been killed by the satellite. That was a whole separate... He is in a whole separate timeline. And he just didn't know it he just didn't know it yet. And because Makise was alive. His original timeline is the one where she's dead. I feel like, I don't think the show is in a linear structure. I think we're starting, I mean, that's why the first episode was called the beginning of the prologue and epilogue, right? Like, I don't think the show is going in a linear structure, and we're going to get to a point where Okunen goes back to the first episode to try to save Makise. Something like that. Okay, I'm done talking. I talked for a long time. I hope you guys understood what I was trying to say. But let's get started on episode 8. It's called Chaos Theory Homeostasis. Ooh, God. Okunen knows. He ain't no savior. Mans is like... Makise is like, what the fuck? Oh, he's explaining to them. Yeah, like, why are you the only one that remembers? He has a power. Okay, but if he moves world lines, like, he's gonna have to explain that shit again. Reading Steiner? I'm so dead with... Okay. Now, the only thing that I'm really curious about is, will Okunen run into himself eventually? I cannot remember what John Titor says happens when you do run into yourself. Because he tells us in a previous episode, I just can't remember. Ruka, you feeling guilty about getting that number wrong, huh? As you should. So it didn't. So he didn't take it seriously. Cause remember he was like, he thought it was spam mail whenever Okunen texted him the first time. It's gotta be some, so I guess it has to be something major. It's the power of the magic eye of reading Steiner. It feels unfair to change the past. I guess it depends. He'll just sit back and watch as others sacrifice them. Damn! Oh, shining finger. Moeka's like, let me send a D-mail. She gonna keep blowing up his phone until he says yes. Damn, where'd you come from? And why is she having trouble remembering shit? She got that little girl saying that's so cute. Dang, everybody in the building knows what's going on. Not a Titor otaku. Oh, here she go. She is so visibly hostile too. Like, she does not give a damn. She's gotta have a reason though. Suzuha's gotta have a reason. I changed my cell phone 4 days ago. Okay. Okay, that is something that would be obvious. But let's see. I wonder how drastic of a change it has to be for world lines to switch over. Who the hell is that? Oh! You know, watermelons in Japan are expensive. Oh, Ruka, that's nice of you. Alright, let's go ahead and get to the experiment. Okay. Oh, it worked. Oh my gosh, it worked again. Wait, but why is... Where's she at? Oh my god, wouldn't it be crazy if they didn't know who she was? No, they know who she is. Oh. Wait a minute. Wait, what? Oh! Oh, why? Wait, what has her cell phone got to do with anything? Oh my god. Oh! What the fuck? Oh, she never became a member of the group. What? Oh, God. Ever since 4 days ago, when she received that message, changed her actions and never came to the lab. Holy crap. It's the butterfly effect. One small change could just fuck up everything. Guys, I'm just like... I don't even know what to say. And Ruka never came over with the melon. What? Who's calling? What? What if... Oh, God, I'm... Oh, Ruka's deciding to wear the cosplay? What made him change his mind about cosplaying? This is so crazy. I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. He said this is very Yuri. He said it's even better. I'm so dead. I want to get a low angle shot. Please. Oh, God. He's starting to question his sexuality. He's like, I've been victimized by an extreme psychological attack. I'm so dead. Maishi is like, cute is justice. Wait, what's the request? What? Oh, missed the lotto 6. Oh, so Ruka did come by. Oh, and that's when he heard. Oh. Oh, he heard about what they were talking about. Oh, wow. You can't send it way in the past. Oh, yeah. She doesn't know that Ruka is a boy. But my thing is, okay, we gotta explain to Ruka that, hey, the text messages only go back 5 days. 5 days a week at the most? Or I wonder if they can do something, because telling her not to buy her phone affected 4 days. Like 4 days worth of stuff. But I wonder if they can do something and change something where it affects like a whole year or years. But it would have to be an like a huge change. And how would they do that? Affecting her gender? Oh, so Ruka's now a lab member. Okay. Yeah. I can't believe they're really doing this. Oh God. How would they do this? Oh my God, what about the... Didn't Ruka's family own that IBM computer? Oh yeah, but somebody gave it to him. Oh wow. Would his mom know that her number? Remember the number? Oh crap. Transform these into numbers. A total of 36 English letters. Damn, this is complicated. Yeah, like this is a huge change. They may not even know Ruka in the future. If Ruka really becomes a girl, Ruka may not even... What if Ruka stops existing? What if... Oh God. World lines changed. Oh my God. And this is huge. What happened? I'm scared, y'all. I'm scared. Oh, okay. Oh. Please don't. Okay. Okay, so Ruka's still a boy. I'm a perverted gentleman. The world line changed, so something changed. What happened? Honestly, with every experiment that they do, it's like I'm sitting on the edge of my seat because I feel like it's going to get to a point where they're going to change something and the world's going to be a worse off place. I don't know. It's like, it's the butterfly effect. They're still continuing on with the experimentations. And it seems like he's just going to have to explain every time something changes. Like, he's just going to have to explain. But they're trying to figure out what makes him be able to keep his memories. Why is he so special? John Titor calls it a power. And I guess they're just trying to manipulate different variables to just see how exactly it works. So it seems to me, in order for there to be another divergence, it's got to be a huge enough change. Like, it's just got to be a more, like, it just has to have like a lot of significance, it seems. And when there is a divergence, that's when it changes. So it's not every time they text somebody it will work, but it may not work. It just may affect some other shit, and then he has to figure out, like, I guess, what happened. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. That's all I got. We're almost to 10 episodes. Once we get to episode 10, we'll have our first Steins Gate discussion, because there is a ton to talk about. But thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you are just now watching the show, tell me what you think, and I'll catch you guys later. Thank you. Bye.